Greetings and salutations, dreamers in dreamland. Welcome to the latest edition of Listen to Me. Listen to Me, volume 41. And let me tell you something, son. This episode has just begun, and it's going to end rather abruptly because I don't want to go on too long. Today is fight day. That's right, it's a Sunday. However, today is fight day. Today is Sunday, August the 29th, 2021. And tonight, in the main event, we have Lamar Woodley, former UFC champion Lamar Woodley, mixed martial artist Lamar Woodley. He is going to be taking on Jake Paul. He's going to make an attempt to dethrone Jake Paul, to knock that train off its track. Now, my prediction for this fight, dreamers in dreamland, let me tell you something right now. I don't need a crystal ball. Everybody's favorite boxing shaman doesn't need a crystal ball to tell you what's going to happen tonight. Tonight is going to be a knockout victory for Jake Paul. That's right, a knockout victory. Boom! Knockout victory for Jake Paul. And I'll explain to you exactly why. Marketing. The undercard of tonight's main event will feature the United States debut of two fighters from the United Kingdom. One is a heavyweight prospect, WBA interim champion, Daniel Dubois. Dynamite Daniel Dubois, who only has one loss on his professional record, and that's to the hands of Joe Joyce. An undefeated prospect in his own right, a contender, and Joe Joyce is looking to become, I believe, the WBO mandatory after Alexander Usyk gets his WBO mandated shot at Anthony Joshua in September. Joe Joyce is on a trajectory to be the WBO's next mandated challenger, next mandated challenger for the WBO Heavyweight Championship of the World, currently held by Anthony Joshua. Now, Daniel Dubois, he lost to Joseph Joyce, but since losing to him, he did win a WBA final eliminator, making him the WBA interim champion, which, lines him up for a shot at the WBA championship. Not sure if it's the WBA regular title held by Trevor Bryan, or if it's the WBA Super Championship, which is held by Anthony Joshua. That's the real version of the World Heavyweight title the WBA offers. They can be unified with that thereof another sanctioning body. The WBA regular champion cannot be the WBA regular champion and the IBF champion. No, that's not the way the WBA works. You have to be the WBA Super Champion in order to do so. Now, the other fighter making his debut on the undercard of tonight's, Paul versus Woodley card is Tommy Fury, the younger brother of Tommy Fury, who happens to fight at 175 pounds. The same exact place that Jake Paul fights, 175 pounds. So basically, Jake Paul, he's been fighting other YouTubers. He's been fighting basketball players like Nate Robinson. And he fought Ben Askren, a mixed martial artist who really didn't have much hands. He didn't have much hand-throwing ability. Not a lot of boxing acumen with Ben Askren. Ben Askren made his money being a world-class wrestler who had some, judo, some Brazilian jiu-jitsu training, of course, but his real bag of tricks was his wrestling. Striking was not Ben Askren's forte. Boxing was not his forte, and he got knocked out. Now, Lamar Woodley is a more well-rounded mixed martial artist, and Lamar Woodley can throw his hands. He's got some boxing training, and he's got some much more boxing training experience than Ben Askren. However, I don't see that helping him whatsoever. I see Jake Paul knocking him out. And this is going to set up Tommy Fury and Jake Paul. Everyone wants Jake Paul to fight a boxer. I want Jake Paul to fight a boxer. I'm a boxing purist. I love boxing. I've been watching boxing since I was in diapers. I love boxing. I'm not a big fan of these YouTube guys boxing. However, I will tell you that I am a very big fan of what Jake Paul is doing. I'm a big supporter, and I'll tell you why. Jake Paul is making more money than most boxers in his experience level. He's making a lot more than those guys. And he's doing it of his own hard work. He's doing it of his own volition. He's doing it of his own, he's working off his own name. Jake Paul was a star before he ever set foot in a boxing ring. I had no idea who the guy was, personally. I'm not a teen or a tween or a teeny bopper. I don't give a shit. I really don't. I don't care about pop culture and YouTube stars. I don't really give a fuck. I don't. A lot of guys my age, look, I'm 38 years old. A lot of guys my age, we don't give a fuck. But I'll tell you what I do like about Jake Paul. Jake Paul carved his own lane and said, you know what? I have some name recognition and I want to be a boxer. And he works hard at it. Anyone who's been in the gym with Jake Paul will tell you the guy works hard. And I respect that. I also respect someone carving their own lane, making their own avenue, and getting paid to do so. Look, every boxer, they rely on their promoter, their manager, but ultimately they have to rely on themselves. Every boxer is personally responsible. It's not just enough being the best boxer. It's not just enough having the best hand skills. You have to create a compelling character that the people are interested in. Whether you're doing it through your donating your purses in charity and being a man of your country's people like Manny Pacquiao, or Roberto Duran, or Julio Cesar Chavez, you know, or you're doing it like Mike Tyson, being a controversial figure, being a, you know, or Muhammad Ali being a controversial figure who's a good interview. You've got to make it interesting. Jake Paul makes it interesting, which is why he gets paid the way he does. I hear a lot of boxers complaining. Some guys complaining that Jake Paul is getting paid too much. Jake Paul is getting paid on his star power, on his marquee value, because people will tune into what he's doing. Look, you could put on the two best boxers in the world, okay? But if nobody gives a shit about what's going on, it's only going to go so far and be so successful. On the other hand, you could put two guys that are popular in the ring, and you're going to get a lot more people looking and viewing. I mean, look, Jake Paul's brother Logan Paul, when he fought KSI, I think it was 2 years ago in Los Angeles, there were two world champions, Devin Haney and Billy Joe Saunders, on the undercard. On the undercard. Two boxing world champions were on the undercard of two YouTubers fighting in the main event. And I'd venture to say the two YouTubers in the main event probably made more money than every boxer on the card. Because they're marquee value, not because of their boxing acumen. Look, boxing is a business. It's a great sport. It's the sweet science. It's beauty and brutality, as I've said many times before on this channel, and I'll say it again. In the future, I will say it again. But it's a business. It's not perfect. And marquee value matters. And I respect and admire what Jake Paul has been doing. Because not only has he been working very hard in the gym, which I respect, but he's using his name and his namesake to not only make money for himself, but I believe Amanda Serrano, who is fighting on the card tonight, is receiving a career-high payday fighting on a YouTuber's undercard. Amanda Serrano, who some people will tell you is the best pound-for-pound women's fighter in the world. 7-division champion, Amanda Serrano. And she's going to make the most money she's ever made boxing tonight on the undercard of a YouTuber's boxing main event. So Jake Paul, I want to see him fight a boxer, and I believe after he knocks out Lamar Woodley tonight that he will be fighting Tommy Fury next. Dreamers in Dreamland, that is my weekend pick. Yours truly, everyone's favorite boxing shaman, has given you the news. And listen, last weekend, yes, I had to eat the crow. I was wrong. Manny Pacquiao did not do enough. I predicted he would win 9 rounds and make it, you know, beyond the shadow of a doubt that he beat Yordenis Ugas, and quite the opposite happened. So I'll eat the crow. Last weekend, I was wrong. And I congratulate Yordenis Ugas in his victory. He fully earned all his accolades as the WBA full-fledged super welterweight 147-pound champion of the world. The WBA's real champion at 147 pounds. Yordenis Ugas earned that last weekend. I congratulate him. And he did it by winning at least 9 rounds of that fight. Manny threw a lot of punches. Ugas was clearly head and shoulders way more effective. This weekend, I'm telling you right now, Dreams in Dreamland, everybody's favorite boxing shaman, yours truly, don't need a crystal ball don't need a crystal ball to tell you that Jake Paul is winning by knockout, and he's going to do it. He's going to do it in the third round. Third round knockout, Jake Paul. You heard it here first, or you heard it here last. It's been a blast, and I love each and every one of you, but not nearly equally. That's just the way it works. Ha ha! Till we meet again. Peace.